Bust it.
Hello out there, thanks for joining us on Political Platform, and it's a celebration of democracy as far as free speech is concerned. Political Platform, on the program, will provide you all the information you require, the analysis of the events around Nigeria, and if we have reasons to resort to the outside world to bring in experiences, we also do that. And we also harvest from you your experiences, your contributions through Political Platform at yahoo.com, and we're always delighted to share those views of yours. And if they are unnecessary, we use them to deepen the roots of our young democracy and make everybody happy. But the most important assignment that we have on the program is to hold the government accountable as provided for in the Constitution. Let them know what ought to be done, and mobilize the citizenry, the electorate, for them to know that they have a duty as well to play their roles, because at the end of the day, it is a democracy defined aptly to represent the people, the government, everybody that we have. The people essentially are the focus. Okiri Agbonsurem is my name. We cannot but continue to appreciate you for all the mails you are sending. Almost everybody sending us mails this morning in their hundreds. I acknowledge that Political Platform is providing a kind of opportunity for all Nigerians, particularly those who listen to us in and outside of Nigeria, to get the very, very latest on developments. This morning, we'll be trading on two straight issues. Now, the ANAMBRA elections, do you remember the ANAMBRA Central Senatorial District elections that have been hanging? That district has not had a representative since the beginning of this administration, and almost you need a lawyer to explain them. Or what we usually do here is, if we are not knowledgeable enough, we'll invite a lawyer, and we have a senior advocate of Nigeria this morning to help us analyze and take a look at the issues in Anambra State. With the elections hold this Saturday, in spite of the conflicting court orders, one from the Court of Appeal, others from the lower courts, opposing each other, go, don't go. And one is clearly asking that somebody be sworn in, even when the Court of Appeal has said rerun. And the Independent National Electoral Commission seems to have found itself in a tight corner. What should they do? Should they obey the lower court order that specifically says somebody should be sworn in, or should they go ahead with in obedience to the Court of Appeal, which says they should conduct a fresh election this Saturday for those who are contesting the elections? Then we will also go to the headquarters of Customs. I think we have to start from there. A lot of stories in the last few days. The custom has been in focus on this program for some time. We take a look at the kind of revenue, apart from the NNPC, the custom is the next source of revenue for Nigeria. They take all the duties, and they are able to help us gather our funds through the border and all that they have to levy to give us money. So that organization is one very important organization. When they make seizures of cars, of foods, of items, what do they do with them? Do they keep them and they get them expire? Do they sell them? Do they donate them? A fire incident in the customs operative unit sometime ago, just a few days ago, has thrown this up, where people are accusing the customs of deliberately keeping things and wasting them. And they are all in millions, if not billions of naira worth. We'll be talking to Atta, our friend, the spokesperson for customs, briefly this morning, so it doesn't appear as if we just want to have a shave of their hair in their absence. My colleagues are here. Ijoma Osamo, thank you so much for joining me.
Thank you, Okiria. I think I still have to talk on the issue of the herdsmen and the farmers' clash. The government should do something about it, because people are becoming very, very, very tired of the whole situation. The people of Benue State are already crying. If a law that the governor brought into being is not to stay, that means somebody is bending towards the direction of the herdsmen, to say this law does not favor us, we will not want it in the state. You should ask a question. If you are a visitor to my house, should you tell me how you want to sit in my house? That's the question I'm asking.
I think you are even going too far in it, Ejoma. If a law is made, we have established on this program before, you have a right to go to court to challenge it. You cannot on your own decide which law to obey and which one not to obey. Although even the government have been setting examples in which law to obey and which law not to obey. We have had people who have been in detention and the court will say, release the person. I will hear the president will say, don't release the person. It is not one. But although he has not spoken about it, in one of the media briefings, he talked about how grievous the offense of Dasuki is, that he cannot contemplate him being freed. Does the president have more powers than the courts? I mean, we have seen the most powerful president in the world, talking of Donald Trump, making a presidential order. And the court says that presidential order cannot go, and the man goes to appeal court to go and reverse what the court has said. That is what democracy is all about. We don't have, the day we begin to have a president that will sit in his office or in his living room and decree that something must happen without recourse to court, without recourse to the National Assembly, then we are back to where we thought we have left behind. Talking about the herdsmen, whether they like the law or they don't like the law, it's a matter of going to court to challenge it. And our courts have exhibited in the past that they can take decisions.
Are they ready to go to court?
That is the situation. Amici Anakwe is also on the program.
Thank you so much. I think they have gone to court, even the ECOWAS court, to talk about the right of free movement of goods and services and persons. So let's allow the courts to determine. But on the issue of fuel subsidy, there are allegations that the federal government is illegally paying fuel subsidy, and so many back and forth denials, counterclaims, disjointed statements here and there. We just hope that there will be a clearer picture. But of course, it takes me back to the Jonathan era, where crude oil was selling as much as $100. At the same time, we were making so much money. The price of the retail product, which we largely import, was also high, and necessitating a huge payment of subsidy. The administration was almost crucified for paying subsidy. Now we have a situation on our hands. The price of oil and nearing $70 per barrel now. It tells you that because we are an import-based economy for the products downstream sector, the more we are making money in the crude oil market, the raw material, we're also wasting that money on payment of subsidy. So when people ask, oil was sold for $100, what did you do with it? We should also take a look at the trillions that was paid in subsidies, except and until we develop our local capacity to refine petroleum products. There were promises by this administration that refineries will be fixed and new ones built, but none has been met. We are hoping for Dangote own refinery to come on stream, but I'm telling those that are celebrating, it's a monopoly we are creating. Moving government monopoly, public monopoly to private monopoly. Yes, it's refined locally, but the prices will be determined by international standards. So it may not be Uhuru till we empower the various other licenses, over 20 of them, for private refineries that we are giving out, and they are not constructing. Then we won't get to Uhuru.
All right, let's take a look at our mailbox, political platform at yahoo.com. We always celebrate what you have to say. Let's see who is talking to us this morning.
Welcome to the mail segment. I am Usaitin Yari.
And I am Aladu Doko. Welcome.
Yeah, we begin this morning with Mike E.G. in Abuja reacting to some analysis on the program yesterday. The mail reads, irrespective of the fact that there are some clergy who have not lived up to expectation, I want to say religious organizations have stood to give the people hope, as well as peace from this wicked world, and a country where many things and systems are not working. I advise people to test every spirit, as some are not truly from God. Many churches are granting student scholarships, giving widows business, giving the homeless shelters, holding seminars, and training on how to contribute to the nation, and so on. But we do not always see this, and many times paint the church black. My only advice would be to criticize constructively and not destructively. Tell religious leaders to inculcate the true morals in their members and remind them how religious organizations are expected to do the right thing. This will help people who hold you in high esteem not be discouraged.
Away from that, Onyekachi Ibano in Abuja writes on INEC and voting method. He says, "Dear political platform crew, I want to talk about INEC and the voting process. The idea that a voter must vote when they're registered is outdated and obsolete. Voters should be able to vote once for any candidate of their choice from any part of the country, thereby having a huge number of voters. People from one location to another daily and may not be able to go back to where they registered to voting during their elections. Take for instance the IDPs. Some of them may have voters card and willing to vote, but because they have to vote where they registered, they would be disenfranchised. Same with students and corps members who would not be able to vote because they have changed location from where they registered. This should be looked into by the INEC and every authorities involved."
That's it on the main segment today. Continue to write to us through political platform at yahoo.com.
Thank you so much. We always appreciate your very, very strong positions, and unfortunately we can't take all the mails that will come our way. Please don't be discouraged. Continue to write to us, and we always emphasize here that even when we don't read your mails, they sometimes provide us a very, very deep insight into what is happening and also help us deepen our analysis of the events. Let's go to Customs Headquarters before we come to the issue of Anambra State. We have on the line Joseph Atta. Joseph Atta is a spokesperson of the Nigerian Customs Service. Thank you so much, sir, for joining us on the program.
Yeah.
Now, let's just go straight to the point because our time is very short. Let's begin from the fire incident and all the accompanying criticisms that the customs have received over the fire incident in one of your operating centers. What indeed happened?
Well, unfortunately, we recorded a fire outbreak at an isolated part of an open field. Some people have reported it as a fire got in our warehouse. I just want to say that it's not the main warehouse. It's an isolated part of an open field where we keep some trucks and such things that cannot be kept in the main warehouse.
So tens of vehicles were burnt. Is that correct?
No, I can confirm that 5 trucks were burnt. And this is where I must commend Ray Power. When this thing happened, I was there, eventually with a senior reporter from Ray Power, Jacob Idinye, who immediately placed a call to Ray Power. There was live broadcast, and that prompted quick intervention from fire service. Within 10 minutes, we had about 5 trucks, and the fire was immediately brought under control. 5 trucks were destroyed. One of them was carrying an unwholesome rice. You know, we donate rice to the IDPs. Last time, when some of those rice were subjected to NAFDAC tests, those that were not fit for human consumption were transferred to that open field. And eventually, it is that one that was even awaiting destruction that got burnt.
Now, let's take a look at your own, the food and the vehicles that you seize. The information that is in the public domain is that you keep this food to waste and vehicles are kept until they are valueless, and you are so, if you permit me to use the word, the customs service is so lazy about how to go about dealing with these assets, national assets, that could easily be either sold or donated, as it were, so that we do not lose. You don't really seem to care whatever happens as long as these goods are concerned. Is that correct?
I like the fact that you added donation as one of the options. Eventually, we are under a presidential directive, 2016, around January 2016. The service received the presidential directive to donate such items like rice and other perishable items, all of them to the victims of the insurgency in the Northeast. A National Logistics Committee was inaugurated February 2016, consisting of Customs, Nigerian Army, Civil Defense, NAFDAC, NUJ, NTA, Red Cross, and all that. And since then, we have embarked on this distribution in 4 phases. In fact, we are in the 5th phase in 4 states.
What about the vehicles?
No, let me just tell you that.
No, we don't really have time. We have heard about it.
Okay, a lot have been donated, and the vehicles are presently being auctioned through our e-auction platform. 646 have so far won, and we have generated over 272 million through the auction process. Those who make this comment believe that this thing should just be shared on the street. Seized items and overtime items are disposed according to the law.
Mr. Atta, there have been this concern about the status of recovered items. Some agencies, such as the EFCC, have come under the spotlight, and some persons have also expressed concern about the ability of the customs to take a proper inventory of seized items. They allege that sometimes what were seized are not declared, and sometimes they grow wings. What's the inventory taking process like?
Let me tell you something. Seized items are treated under the strictest condition. Once something is seized, it's taken to the customs station, it immediately enters into the station diary. It is properly documented. Woe betide any custom officer during his shift to discover that even a dime out of the quantity is missing. Of course, the next officer taking over the duty will not sign. So, these items are properly kept, properly documented, and properly accounted.
All right.
And they are disposed when the time is due in accordance with the law.
Thank you so much, Joseph Atta. Always listening to hearing us each time we call, particularly at this time when we need all the information. Our democratic institutions need to be working at full steam, and we appreciate the customs open door that enable us to talk to you every time we need you. Thank you so much, sir.
Thank you very much. We are accountable, and we are open to informing the public always.
Thank you so much. Now let's go to Anambra State. Dr. Amechi Anakwe's state. When we talk about Anambra State,
Anambra and my constituency, Anambra Central.
So you have not had the senator since
2015.
Please, can you just permit me 1 minute?
We except it's on Anambra, please.
It's on voting.
No, please, let's go to Anambra so that we do not have when our guests begin to speak, we probably will be having to waste so much time. Mike Ozekome, Chief. Is he a doctor now? When you say chief,
I'm also PhD.
PhD, doctor. If you say chief and you put it just one chief, you could land in court. So you say, is it double or treble or multiple chiefs
across Nigeria?
But the crown of it is he's a senior advocate of Nigeria, well deserved. Over time now, we were in the trenches in those days together as a young journalist and a young lawyer. We say, when I say young lawyer,
were there in Guardian Express. We were far away. We were in the trenches.
We were in the trenches those
days.
The
only man who can migrate from the print media to the electronic media very easily.
Thank you very much. And Ozekome is still as very strong as he has always been. Now, the Anambra debacle, is it a debacle or is confusion?
Worse than a debacle. It's worse than a debacle. It's actually a sleeping magma.
Let's take a census.
Volcanic eruption.
How many court cases orders do we have now?
Now there are different orders from Court of Appeal, but those orders from the Court of Appeal have all been appealed to the Supreme Court. And
except one that ought to end at the at the Court of Appeal.
At the Court of Appeal, and that is by APC, and it is right now at the Court of Appeal. And INEC itself has filed its own papers. But they want to go ahead and hold a rerun election, even in a matter where they themselves have filed papers at the Court of Appeal. So that cannot therefore be said to be right.
But they have a positive order of court to conduct elections.
The positive order of court to conduct election was by the Court of Appeal, Enugu Division, which has been appealed itself by the PDP
to the
Supreme Court. And the matter is there live and extant. And INEC has filed its own papers. The question is, why the hurry to hold the rerun elections when you have these court cases still subsisting? But very quickly, a background.
No, let's talk about the one at the lower court.
At the lower
Which
court,
gives one of the candidates a positive order to be sworn in.
Yes.
on the 17th of December, Dr. Obiora Okonkwo,
Yes.
who has been fighting his case since 2014, his own is a
As a result, his case is that
a pre-election matter.
yeah, that he was the proper candidate.
Yes,
of the
under
party.
section 87 of the Electoral Act, a pre-election matter has a life of its own. It has assumed a life of its own. It's different from normal civil proceedings. And you know, election petitions themselves are sui generis. They are also in a class of their own. So he was challenging his exclusion or the qualification of Uche Ekwunife
yeah.
as the PDP candidate. But Uche Ekwunife went ahead and won the elections. When she won the election, ABGA, that fielded Chief Ume, went to the election petition tribunal, which dismissed his appeal. He went, his petition.
Yeah,
he went on appeal to the Court of Appeal, and the Court of Appeal upheld it, disqualified Uche Ekwunife, and said a rerun should be held within 90 days, but excluding PDP.
Meanwhile,
so PDP now appealed to the Supreme Court, and the matter is here.
Meanwhile, Okonkwo's case was still going on.
Was still going on, and in June last year, he filed a motion to be declared the winner of that election
because
he was the proper candidate, and
not Ekwunife.
Not Ekwunife.
Yeah.
So his own was a pre-election matter. So on the 17th of December, Justice John Sow of the Federal High Court, Abuja, declared him the winner, ordered INEC to give him a certificate of return.
How was this done? How was it? Was there full-blown hearing or
full-blown hearing to which INEC itself was a party? Now, INEC filed his own papers, and INEC was in court through his own lawyer, one Nnamdi Nweze. INEC said we are supposed to be
joined
umpires.
Okay, yeah.
Umpires. Because of that, we are not opposing this application. We are not filing a counter affidavit.
They didn't file a counter affidavit.
They did not file a counter affidavit.
They didn't oppose it.
So it was a consent judgment. They said whatever decision the court arrived at,
they are okay.
They are okay. That is what we call a consent judgment. A consent judgment cannot be appealed.
Who was the other party apart from INEC?
Apart from INEC,
yes.
The other parties were the other political parties, APC.
Did they contest it?
They contested it, and it was a matter that was contested. Okay. And the judge ruled in favor of Dr. Okonkwo and said INEC should give him a certificate of return, and the Senate president should swear him in immediately.
Now the confusion, for those of us who are not lawyers,
yes,
the confusion now is already we have cases that had gotten to the Supreme Court. Decisions had been taken that elections should be rerun. Now there's a man who said, look, originally all these cases shouldn't have mattered at all because I am the candidate.
Because he is like the Lamb of God that taketh away all the sins of the world. His son is the original one. They created the original sin. They caused the original sin against him. And he went to court. And the court now said, hello, you were the right candidate. You ought to have been Adam.
They ought not to have been all these cases.
All these cases.
You were the candidate.
Yeah. And in any case, Okiria, there's what we call the doctrine of least pendants. When matters are in court, INEC is in court at the Court of Appeal with APC. Because INEC was trying to force APC to still feed Dr. Chris Ngige. Now a minister who said, hello, leave me out. I don't want to be feeded. We have our own new candidate after primaries.
Yes.
So APC went to the Federal High Court, they lost. They have now appealed to the Court of Appeal. And INEC and APC are at the Court of Appeal, while PDP is at the Supreme Court with INEC on the issue of being excluded. But Dr. Okonkwo, on the other hand, the court said you were in fact you are the right candidate.
Has that case been appealed? The one declaring Okonkwo?
No, they did not appeal.
Can it be appealed?
They can't even appeal because a consent judgment, except it was obtained by fraud or misrepresentation, you cannot appeal.
The other parties,
and it couldn't have been by fraud because they were represented. But what they have done is that INEC, very curiously, has filed a motion to vary a judgment to which they were a party,
and which they didn't oppose,
which they consented to. Not just
the
that
other parties in the case, the other parties,
Yeah.
political parties, did they also give their consent in that case?
They did not give their consent, but they fought it.
Which
does it not give them that right to appeal?
Yeah, it is left of them. I don't want to give
so we
them.
cannot actually say it's a consent judgment.
Yeah, no, it was a consent
No,
judgment.
if it was opposed by, if the parties opposed the matter, then it wouldn't be a consent judgment. That INEC didn't oppose it, and the other
court,
parties.
after listening to the whole case, don't we have a judex again? Don't we have a court of law again? After listening to the whole case,
Yes.
the court arrived at a decision.
Yes.
If you feel you don't like it, you can appeal and file a motion for stay of execution.
Now, because of time,
none of them has done that.
Let us conclude.
Yes.
Let us.
Let me tell you what if I were Dr. Okonkwo, what I would do. If I were him, or if I were his lawyers, what I would advise him to do. I would rely on section 75, subsection 2 of the Electoral Act. You know what it says?
No.
It says a person who has the certified true copy of a court judgment in his favor, ordering him to be declared the candidate, should carry that certified copy to the Senate president to swear him in immediately.
But the Senate said will need to be served.
Of course, he will just serve a certified true copy of the judgment of the Senate president, Dr. Bukola Saraki. In all this, it is ANAMBRA Central.
But we have seen
it is ANAMBRA Central that is suffering.
Now let
2015.
The question I wanted to ask you have actually answered it. Okay. What should we do? But there's a second part to it.
Yes.
What should the Independent National Electoral Commission, in your own legal, view, what do you think they should do?
In my own view, a court order, the only court order which has not been appealed, which is subsisting, which is extant, which is live, is the one given on the 17th of December by Justice Sowo, which is that Okonkwo should be sworn in immediately as the senator representing Anambra Central. If INEC refuses to do that, it is attempting to embrace the cold arms of contempt proceedings by violating an order of court. So INEC should obey that order, and it was held by the Supreme Court in Ojukwu and Governor of Lagos State. If
INEC goes ahead to conduct the elections this weekend, what happens? What
it's null and void.
It's a nullity.
It's a nullity, total nullity. Because as the court once held in McFoy versus UFC, you cannot build something upon nothing and expect it to stay. It has no foundation, no legs to stand on, no pillar, nothing. So it will be an exercise in futility. It is null and void. It will be like the dew of the sky that appeareth now and disappeareth the next moment. They would have wasted resources, energy, time, and the time of Anambra State Central people. So my advice to them
is to wait.
Let's
do it tomorrow again, and when we come back, we have political platform and all the views and all your mails at True Political Platform.
Thank you very much, Nigerians.
Thank you so much.